Okay, so welcome. This is our lecture for Design 350. It's Tuesday the 21st at 11 and we are on Google Meet right now and the recording is on. So let's take a look and see what we've got here. This week in our social justice portion, we're going to start talking about rental agreements. So this is just something to look at, and it goes with all of our projects. Rental agreements and what's allowed and what's not allowed drives a lot of development because certain owners want certain rental agreements. And this actually goes along not just with rentals, but like with condominium, housing authorities and groups like that, where you've got your CC&Rs with your housing groups and stuff. So, but I'm going to put them all together in rental agreements. And then there's stuff about rent control that you really need to know. You might have these great ideas and find out that your cool ideas run afoul of the allowed rental agreements and rent controls in your areas. And then we'll also look on social justice about rent controls. Like I was just reading in the newspaper today or online that in Boca Raton, they made a law that if anybody was cited or given a ticket or anything, that Boca Raton Police Department could send that information to a property owner and then they could evict based on that. We're talking about things like broken taillights, broken windows on a car, jaywalking, panhandling, things that have nothing to do with the property. And of course, once an eviction is done, you can get a new person in and you can either raise the rates or you can demolish. And so these are just things that people have figured out how to get around of rent control and rental agreements. And of course, that is blatantly illegal for the Fair Housing Act, right? Because
that doesn't seem like it would be
yeah,
allowed.
yeah, and technically it can be allowed, but of course, when it's only enforced in disadvantaged neighborhoods, it's like so flippin' obvious that it's incredible. And for a number of years, HUD did not enforce any of those between 2016 and 2020. And now HUD is starting to do enforcements again, which was what the gist of this article was about. So that was really interesting. So we'll talk about, I'll just give you the basics on this again, because it does go into, when you're doing a project, even if it's a remodel, you sort of have to know, and especially now with SB 9 being approved, starting January 2022, you have sort of de facto approval of doing RD2 and granny flats and things like that on your RD1 residential 1 sites, so long as you don't violate like a health ordinance or a business ordinance. You can't put a business up or something like that. So these all people are going to be doing this. People are going to be putting in small rentals. And so this is important for us to know about. And then, of course, we're going to look at doing elevation readings. We're still going to work in AutoCAD. And I'll be putting these up. You have a YouTube playlist, which is not super large. How to read the elevations, how to do rod readings, and then the brief one from the lab. So, and I'll be adding a few more in there. Just keep your eyes on those. You've got a reading list, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. And here's the survey record template that you're going to use. And you're going to have to start getting good at using this now. And we're going to talk about this T1 point and what these rod readings are now. Okay, so we're going to get into that. You should have that available for yourself. And then I haven't got the posting. Did I thought I put up some postings. Maybe not. Maybe I just didn't put them on there. I did not put up the week 5 posting, so I probably won't end up doing week 5 postings. But this is where, if you're out doing your surveys, this is your collaboration work. So if you're surveying, we want your images of your azimuth, your distance, and your elevation, and either photos or written notes. And we need to get those up there as soon as we can, because each drafter then is going to create a survey record for each survey. And so as an example, Leah, I don't know if you can get an image of yours up into here this morning as we're going over this. That's where I'd like it. And then once you've got your survey record done, you're going to draw your survey points and then move the back sight to 0, 0. And so we're just going to make a new kind of drawing. We're taking it step by step. These are all parts of what you're going to do. Cool. So Leah, you could even just take a picture of, I think you did, of the clipboard image.
Yes, I'm going to try to upload it right now on the discussion board.
Okay, that'll be cool. So it looks like I don't have discussions or sims for this week, because you're going to be working through the collaboration on the discussion board. And then I'm going to have you do the parcel map for 5322 Hemlock again. Many people drew a blank on that one. Some people got it done, but now I'm going to have you do a little bit more on the survey record, and I'm going to go over how to do that. And that's actually what I'm going to work on today mostly. And then we've got our template for the week, which you're pretty familiar with most of it. You know how to, everybody's doing a great job with this. Now you're going to do your rental agreements and rent controls with your 3K plus chart. Okay, so you've done one of these already. Now I want for your 5322 your CAD drawing of it, and I want you to back a survey record out of it. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then from the simple surveys, the ones that you get from the discussion board, I want you to create a survey record and a drawing. And I want one for every one that gets done. So you might have to duplicate this page. Okay, so there's just a lot of just getting down to it drawing work. Okay, so let me come into the parcel map, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So the first thing you're going to do is, this is the Hemlock one, and people were looking at this and going, whoa, this is like almost impossible. And look at this good stuff. Look at this. It tells you it's residential, low-rise apartment. Look, it even says it's a HUD, government subsidized apartment, 76 units. Boy, you can get good stuff out of this. And this goes right to what we talk about, right? And, you know, how do we do fair housing and things like that? So this one accepts, it's probably what they call Section 8, which they have a pre-agreement for vouchers where HUD actually sends the money directly to the apartment complex owner, so that the person doesn't have to deal with having a bank account or writing checks or doing this or doing that. You know, you think, oh, well, just send them their check and da-da-da. You know what? A lot of people don't have credit cards and don't have bank accounts that you can just put on and put off. So HUD does a really good job with the Section 8. I think that's a really a really good thing to be able to have. But in any case, here we go. I've got the dimensions and I've opened up a thing, and I'm just going to paste it in here. Paste without formatting. So there we go. I've pasted this without formatting. And then I'm going to read it, and I'm going to mute you, Eric. So there we go. There we go. And I look at this and I go, what does all that mean? But it says that it's going to begin somewhere, and it says where that somewhere is. And we don't really care where that somewhere is. It just says you're going to begin somewhere. Here's the part I'm interested in. Once you begin, then, TH, you go north, blah, 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 for so many feet. So that's going to be a line. Then you go north to east for so many feet. Then you go blah, 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 east, and then you go. And that should be the middle line to point of beginning, contiguous with 3.3 acres, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I don't even need that part. This is how to draw my lot. There's the lot right there. Now in AutoCAD speak, that becomes from where I'm at, 112.87 at an angle north, 1D, 46 minutes, 30 seconds west. That's how I write that. Okay, that's how I do it in AutoCAD. And this is actually what I do when I do these. So it's at, okay, from where I'm at, then 190.63 at an angle north 49D, twelve minutes 21 seconds east, and then from where I'm at, north 89 degrees, 2 minutes 30 seconds east. And I forgot that that one should be 500. Yeah, yeah. So Eric goes, this is way better and faster to read. It so much is worth doing this. And my apologies for not showing this. And I had an extra one in there. So then I go at south, oops, at 235 feet at an angle south, 235. Oops, sorry. South 1 degree, 46 minutes, 30 east. And I'm actually going to be able to copy and paste this in if I felt like it. And finally, from where I'm at, yeah, and you're going to get to do it again here. So, and you can try it and see if this works better for you at an angle 89 degrees, 2 minutes, 30 seconds west. Okay, so let's see what that turns into. Hopefully that turns into something. So here I am in VMware, and there it is. So if I open my AutoCAD, and I type units, and I'm decimal feet, right? And I'm in surveyor's units for this one. And I have minutes, and I don't really care now if I'm clockwise or counterclockwise because I'm doing my surveyor's units. That's just does it. Okay. And then remember, I'm just going to go ahead and put it in here. C prop. I'll put it on my Phantom 2. And that'll be good. And I'll make my donuts. I'll just do text. And then I see over here I need to get my line weight set. I've got too much down here right now, but that's okay. And I should have my line weights in inches, right? And so C prop is usually 027, 028, somewhere around there. And text is usually like 014. And I'll make C prop current. There we go. And I should draw a line somewhere like 500 long. And I'll turn my line weights off. And I get so messed up with that dynamic input thing. I'm going to make sure it's off. All right, so here I go. Just from anywhere. Watch this cool trick. Let's see. I'll start my line here. It didn't do my copy paste right. Let's see if it'll do that. I might have to type it in. There it goes. Well, that didn't work. Let me just type it in. From here, from where I'm at, 112.87 at an angle north 1D, 46 minutes, 30 seconds to the west. And it goes from there to where I'm at, 190.63 at an angle north 49 degrees, 21 east. Now, what did I forget there? North 49D, 12 minutes, 21 seconds east. And then from where I'm at, 500 at an angle north 89D, 2 minutes, 30 seconds to the east. So you get the picture, right? That's how you can go about doing this, right? And then of course, when you put it on your layout and all that kind of stuff, things start looking good. You can put your north arrow, you can put your scale, You can put Hemlock, which I think is over here, and you get kind of a whole thing. And I'm just gonna, just for fun, even though it's not right, I'm gonna pretend that that's my property. Kind of like that, just not quite. Okay, so there's my C prop. I think I need a def points and stuff, but let me come on over here. I'm not going to get it all on the right size and all that kind of stuff. So this looks like one equals 100 will look good on here. And so now I can put on my text my donut 0.18. Probably a little big, but not too bad. And I can put the rest of my information in here. Okay. So you guys all, yeah, I think you all do that one fine. But this is how I do it. I get rid of the extraneous stuff that's just telling me where my beginning is. Beginning at a point on the east line of Hemlock Avenue, located north 30 feet from the southwest corner of SD lot 31. Oh, well, that doesn't do us any. We're just drawing the lot, right? We're just drawing the lot. Okay, so now I've got that. Let's take a look and see what else I'm asking you to do in here. Now there's the drawing. Oops. There's my CAD drawing that I can put in here. Now I want to create a survey record, and you'll each have your own different survey record. Let me do this, and I'm gonna put my 0 point. I have to figure out where I'm gonna put my transit to do my survey record. So I'm gonna put a donut in there. And I'm gonna make it 0 and probably a 5 foot there. That's where I'm going to put my transit, my theodolite, and I'm just going to look to each one of these and try to figure out where it is. And so the easiest way to do that is actually move this whole thing so that my transit is on 0, 0. Okay, that's an easy way to do it. Now, when we're taking one step farther than that when we're doing our readings out on the lawn this week. But this is a cool way to do it. And wherever you happen to put that dot, you'll get different numbers. Now let me do my line of sight. And I'll make it red, and just for fun, I'll make it center 2. And in here, so I wish it would go to find it. I'll make that current right now. So this is how easy it is, right? There's my first one. And you've done this already. You've done this skill. The only skill that you haven't done yet is labeling these so that you know what they look like on your record. Okay. So there they are. So now let me come back over here, and I'm just going to go, oh, okay, I got it. I moved this, so readjust that. And I'll just go, I'll start here. Where did I start drawing? It was right over here, right? And this is going to be T1. How does it look like on here? T1.1. Did I do the other one? Oh yeah, let me, oh, and here we are. So I have to actually reassociate those. I should have done this afterwards. So yeah, I go, so to figure out how to move it back into place, I click my paper and say model. Then I can just move that. And then I go back. There we go. So let me put them on here. DT 1.1. And this one in the middle is that T1 point from my record. Okay. That's my T1. And then I've got, where am I measuring from on those? So that's not too bad. I can get those in now, right? Do I remember how to do that? I go in here and I click on it, right click, properties. It's 369.2571 at south. I could, if I really wanted to, do that export thing, but I think I can do this. Let's see if I can get that. Okay, I can either do it that way, or I can come in here and just open it up and get them. Let's see if I can. Here we go. Now I can just be T1 is at 0, 0. T1.1 is at 369.2571 with an angle south 72, 41, 33. T1 point, and this works for mine, right? And again, I'm in my model. T1.2 is at 358.54. 3 at an angle north 89 degrees, 31 minutes, 36 seconds. So that's how you're going to go about getting these. So then for your, finish this up so that you've got your text, right? You would want to have this as a full property. This is helping you figure out what it is, right? To get this property line. There's a lot of just detail work here. Get that property line. What would you write there? You would write that it's 500 long at north 58 to 30. Okay, which you have essentially right there. Oh, wasn't good. Why didn't it take that? There we go. And then you can just fix it up if you want. Or you can just type it in. Maybe it's quicker to type it in. So there's one of your text lines. Right, and I could change my text to be at that angle and the whole 9 yards. So there's work here. There's a bunch of work to do, but this is sort of how it should look. Over here, it should say hemlock, right? Okay, so we don't really care where it is in space, but we want all of this information. Remember over here to put in your 100 foot long, right? And your north arrow and all that stuff that we've done. So there's a bunch of work here. And so on your um on your copy of week 1 here, you'll place this filled out. It's really a good idea to put your sketch here, but you don't have to. So you should have T1 at 000, T1.1, 2, 3, 4, 5 filled out. We don't have elevations, so you don't have to do those. And you should have a nice drawing to go with it. Your drawing goes here. Your survey record goes here. See, on T1.1, the question is, where would you put it? Right here? Yeah, you can either just pull it out a little bit, or if you want to, you can even do this cool thing of squeezing it. You do your properties, you can actually do your width factor. So it still has the nice spacing and the right height, but you can squeeze it together. Isn't that cool? Have you ever seen that one before? If you haven't done a lot of AutoCAD, probably not. I don't know what you do in Dynascape for that, but this properties thing over here is just awesome. You know, I can twist it and rotate it and put stuff in. I can write it backwards. Look, there it is, upside down and backwards. Isn't that crazy? So much stuff you can do. Of course, I'm not sure. There must be reasons for that. I don't know what they are. Um, okay, so that's cool. So there's a good chunk right there. And that's what I'm looking at. That's a good chunk of points. And this one is really worth 4 points. So now let me go back. Do you have that one in there? Nah, not quite yet. Or do I have to reload? There we go. So here's a set of readings. And let's look and see how to put these on. Well, first of all, let me ask. I'm going to save this now. File, save as. Go find my spot. Any other questions on reading the parcel map, making a survey record from the drawing? No, this is not the equivalent of this. Okay. The drawing, the outline is the same, but your survey record is where this would be here. Okay, any other questions about that? Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and jump over to, here we've got another survey record, and how am I going to do this? I'll pull this sideways, and I'll pull this sideways. We've got them side by side. And here's a blank one. So there was a reading, and in this case, your first reading was back to your known T1. Okay? That was back to this point right here. So this is set up out in space. My theodolite is somewhere out there. Okay? And from that reading at what's called Station 1, my known point is read right here. That was her first reading. That one's got to go in here. So the elevation there was 3.76, and the distance was 57.75. Whoop. And her azimuth reading was 133 degrees, 22 minutes, 0 seconds. Let me get those all to. Okay, so there's that one. Now, there was another reading, which was a second rod. This is one that was up against the wall. So check this out. This is, and these are the readings that I'm getting. Okay, these are the readings. I'm going to make that really clear. Okay, so now, and I'm going to redo this for you a little. See all these extra ones? These are all going to shift over eventually and do stuff. This is where I want to go. So at T1, she got a rod reading of 3.62. And it was 61.42 feet away. And her reading was 201, 6, and 20. And then there was a third reading. It was at 3.1. And notice it's her third reading, but it's really T1.2 because our first reading is T1.1. And in the future, you'll be able to start using station and backsite and all sorts of stuff. But that's okay because this is how I asked her to do it. 47.15 at I don't know why that was doing that. Oh, because I put in the D. 201, 6, 20. And on my third reading, it's 271, 28, 40. I don't know why that keeps doing that. Man, this is so bizarre. I have no clue what's going on there. There we go. Don't know why that won't format. But anyway, fourth reading is 2.74 on the rod. It's 67.05 away. And 297, 18, 30. So those are my readings right there. Okay, so what is the elevation at this point? It's my rod minus my reading. When you come to draw your elevation and note it in there, that's what you would get. That makes sense? Your elevation at this point, this is the rod reading. Okay? When I draw it, the actual elevation is going to be my station reading elevation minus the rod reading. Let's see if I can draw this one. Okay, I can read that. Back into my VMware. And let me start another one. And so I know that my units are going to have to be decimal feet. Now I'm going to go degrees, minutes, seconds. Right? And I remember that this reads clockwise. Here's another thing. If I put DC for Design Center and look at my open drawing, I can bring my layers right in. There we go. Got my layers right in there. So that's a really quick way to do it. Now let me draw a line. Looks like, 60, 70 feet. Now my view is kind of set. So I'm going to draw from 0, 0 to here. That's my first thing. Okay, and that's called my back sight. So C prop, actually I'll go line of sight from 0, 0. That's where my transit was. where I'm at 57.75 at an angle of 133 D, 22 minutes. There's the one corner of the building. That was her first point. This is her theodolite. That was her back site where she actually knew the elevation. And that elevation was 0, 0. These would all be in the notes over there. Okay, so my next one, let's see what happens. There, where I'm at, 61.42 at an angle 201 D, 6 minutes, 20 seconds. Okay. See if I got that right. Yep. And then we've got another one. Let's see how we did. $47.15 at an angle 271D, 28 minutes, 40 seconds. And here's the one to really know how good her survey was, right? 67.05 at an angle 297 D, 18 minutes, 30 seconds. Oh, looks pretty good. That looks like a pretty straight line. Wow. .12 feet. That's like 1.4 inches. There you go. Everybody clap for Leah. Cool. Okay.
I think that was the reading that I had to go through the flowers too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, this one was like kind of a weird mo, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll talk about that in the coming weeks as we go. Now, we still don't know where in space this is, but you're all going to want to get these drawings. Okay. Now, what I said was that I'll show you some cool things. Okay. We know that this point right here was our actual known elevation, right? When I put it over here, I'm going to write down my known elevation right there. EL, oops. Zero. That's what we said, right? That had an elevation of 0.0. So what is the, and I'm going to put here, oops, 3.76. Okay, and I'll come and give you abbreviations for these later on. This is called BS backsite, HI height of instrument, and stuff like that. Okay, but we know that as she was the rod was setting on 0, 0. That was a known elevation. So when she shot back to that site, her rod said 3.76. That would mean that the height from here to here was 3.76. So now her next one was 3.62. So 3.76 minus 3.62 is going to be the elevation right there. Her next one. Okay, so elevation equals 3.76 minus 3.62, which, somebody tell me what that equals.
0.14.
Cool. So that's how it works. Now I have an elevation for this point, 0.14. Let me try this one over here. I'll just do a copy so I don't have to do all that so much over again. So this one was 3.76 minus 3.10. What is that? 0.66, right? So see how you just go through it step by step. Make your recording, use those to make your drawing, and use your elevation numbers, your readings, to place them on the drawing. So the last one minus 2.74 equals 1.02, right? Something like that. This is the output that I'm looking for on the drawing. This is the output that I'm looking for on the survey record. Okay, and each one that gets popped into the discussion, Nick will put his in, JR put his in, Leah will do another one on Wednesday and maybe another one on Friday. And then, so I'm still not, I keep telling you I'm going to show you how to rectify these, but I'm still not quite ready yet. I want to go step by step through these so you really have each step down. I don't want to get too far ahead. But does this make sense for you guys now about what those readings are and how that survey record, wherever it is now, I seem to have lost somewhere, how that survey record works?
Yes, it's helpful.
Cool. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording now.